90% of America's school buses currently run on diesel, but that's changing because of an ambitious plan to put America on a path toward 100% electric school buses. One of the companies leading that change is Thomas Built Buses, based in High Point, North Carolina. Vice President Kamala Harris visited the plant this week to talk about the American Jobs Plan and how that investment in EV buses means new jobs and a cleaner future for children. I spoke to the Vice President during her tour of the facility. Hello, Vice President Harris. Thank you for your time.
It's good to be with you.
We are in North Carolina. You're standing in front of a school bus.
Yes.
Why here? Why now?
25 million of our children a day go to school on the school bus, and the vast majority of them are diesel. So you're talking about toxic fumes, you're talking about real health considerations for the children. But what we're doing here is we're watching innovation at work. It's going to have an impact on the public health of our country, in particular our children's health. It's going to have an impact on greenhouse gas emissions. So I'm very excited to be here and to highlight this as an example of what we are capable of as a country.
I want to focus on climate beyond the American Jobs Plan.
Yeah.
And I know even in your first month in office, President Biden signed a slew of executive orders, including bringing the U.S. back into the Paris Climate Accord. But what policies outside of the American Jobs Plan and what we've seen can we see on the agenda when it comes to climate-forward legislation?
Well, one of the other areas I've focused on for quite some time is water. And the way I talk about it is, for a number of perspectives, one including, if you just think about it in the context of national security. Some people say, what, that's a big leap? Well, no. In a short matter of time, wars will be fought over water. It is a precious resource that we as human beings rely on to live. And it is in diminishing supply because of the climate crisis and because of what we are seeing around the country and around the world. Extreme drought, which causes people to move from the place where they lived and where their grandparents lived and the language they know and the cultures they know, because they need to go where they can grow food and eat food. As a daughter of California, as a child who grew up with drought, I see the effects. I know the effects of not focusing on this as a priority. And so what am I looking at? What we can do to diversify water policy. Let's diversify water policy. Let's put equal attention into what we need to do around capture of water, storage of water, in particular underground, recycling, of course, conservation, desalination. Take advantage of our ability to understand a precious resource that may be in short supply.
The grim reality is that the climate crisis impacts communities of color first.
So let us have that conversation.
Yeah.
And it does. And if you look at it in terms of who, for example, is living in the poorest air quality districts in our country, predominantly black and brown people. Poor people, people of color, black and brown people, have the right that everyone has to be able to drink clean water and breathe clean air. And that's why the work that I will continue to do with so many of our colleagues, and our administration cares deeply about this, around environmental justice, is real work that must happen. Let's understand this is about equal justice, it is about equity, it is about public health. It captures so many issues that must be priority for all of us.
I want to end on a personal note, because I know you have a family.
Yes.
And you've said that some of your most lively conversations with your kids have been around sustainability.
Yes.
So I wonder what kind of America and planet you hope they will inherit and your children's children will inherit.
That's such a wonderful point. I want that our children, the children in my family, the children of our community, the children of our world, that they can take certain things for granted. They should be able to take for granted that they will have clean drinking water. Take for granted that they can breathe the air and not become sick, not contract asthma, lung disease. Take for granted that they will grow up in a world where we invested in skills development, in job creation. That's what I want.
Well, thank you so much, Vice President, for your time.
Thank you.
Climate change is the greatest collective challenge we face as a human family. The crisis is urgent, But environmental activists, climate scientists, business leaders, and lawmakers are all working to find ways to meet the crisis head on. There is no alternative. Now is the time to act.